I'm in Northern Virginia,
Oh, nice.
not too far from
Nice.
you. Irina, you look beautiful. You always look beautiful.
Thank you, Chris. Jeffrey, Chris and I have, Chris, how long would you say we know each other?
At least 10 years. No,
Yeah,
wait. Maybe 6 months. Does that sound right?
yeah, yeah. Chris and I,
Summer?
yeah, Chris and I met through a Facebook community, and he, unlike like you, Jeffrey, just simply reached out because he also, Chris, do you remember why you reached out?
Well, of course, because so just to give you a quick nutshell backdrop, I work for the federal government for the EPA and in budget and finance, and I also went through the IRS coaching school. Believe it or not, the IRS has a coaching school. And that was last year, graduated in April, and I'm coaching in the government all the time, like 4 or 5 people at one time. But I wanted to venture out. I really want to venture out and start my own practice very soon, right? And so that's why I reached out. And I'm actually coaching one person right now that Irene knows about very well. I'm still coaching him. And yeah, the more I learn about starting my own practice, the better. And Irina has a lot of experience and knowledge along those lines. So
And
Very
guys,
cool.
thank you, Chris, for that. And just like I was saying, just today, I was I saw a message and it reminded me of me 5 years ago when I looked for leads, when I hired, and this is my experience. It doesn't have to be anybody else's, or maybe Jeffrey, or maybe Chris, you have gone through it where I hired a marketing coach and I paid a lot of money and it got me nowhere. So what I decided to do is just this. Once a month, to have a Q&A in service of all coaches and to see where are we still having blocks? What are the questions that come up? Because as I'm seeing, how do you invite? How do you create a client? Where do you look for clients? And I, Jeffrey, come from, and Chris already knows that, I come from a platform, from a system: create, invite, coach, propose. This is the system that has been proven to work for me. Now, I'm not saying that there are no systems out there that work, but this system: create, invite, coach, propose. I've seen clients, I've built my practice. I love the world of coaching that I am in. I love the practice that I currently have. And 5 years ago, I was fresh out of school with the ICF ACC, thinking I nailed it. And where did it all start for me? Okay, who's next? Who is that one person that I could invite to experience my coaching? So, with that, guys, it's all about you. You you can ask any question in regards to what are you experiencing right now? Where are you noticing that you're not creating what you desire? What is the block? What are the blocks? Where do you feel stuck? Or maybe it's like Irina, I really don't get how do I get my first client? Every and any question, bring it in and we'll talk about it.
you know that I can talk your ear off, Irina. So I'm not going to start. I'm going to put myself on mute and listen to Jeff really.
Yeah. Well, I'm a talker too, Chris, so that's okay. I mean, I'm open to conversation. Well, you know what, where I am right now, a little bit about me and my background. I've been a nurse for 6 years. A lot of the population of patients I work with are, so low socioeconomic backgrounds, and people that are, the elderly population that are lacking the support they need in communities. And so a lot of the same people coming into the hospital for the same reasons, and not really having, not really getting any answers, and not really helping themselves, more so to prevent them coming back from the hospital. So really my mission now is to prevent people from reaching the hospital. And what better than helping people create better healthy habits. Right right now for me, Irina, people are like, oh, well, what's a holistic nurse coach? What is that? So right now it's a lot of education. It's not so much new, but for people that know what a life coach is, it's similar to that. But um, I can sit for the ICF and all that. But right now I'm taking a course to become holistic nurse coach certified. So it's an actual thing. You take an exam, you can add that to your credentials in nursing. So I've been like I just started my practice maybe like 2 months ago. And so it's all really new. And so I've had volunteer clients like family members, which has been great. And I'm actually, my course now, I'm able to coach like other colleagues. And so like right now, I think for me, I know it's going to take time. With any new venture, in my experience that I've ever taken, it's been hills and valleys. It's a learning curve. So I have to really keep doing what I'm doing every day. So on my days off, right now I'm an ICU nurse, so I work full time doing that. And then on my days off, I'm really doing cold calling. I'm going business to business. I'm really trying to get in chiropractic offices, health and wellness centers, people that understand, what the concept is. Social media, I'm making some traction with that. I know my story is pretty wild. I have a really wild story. But I really don't want to focus so much on me. I want to focus on other people and helping other people. So maybe later down the road, really opening up about what I've been able to overcome over my life, in bits and pieces. The people that do know that, the close ones, my family and friends, but for the whole world to know, it's pretty crazy. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, that's what really drives me. I think there's a lot of people out there that have overcome really tough stuff, and I believe every person has the power in their hands to make changes, and but they have to be willing to be coached. They have to be willing to change. I can't force people that don't want to be changed. Um, so it's right now. It's getting on social media. I was in the running to host a podcast exclusively with nurse.org. I didn't make it. I didn't make the top 10, but I was one of 70 nurses selected. I was in there until the very end. There was just content creators, nurses on social media that had huge followings, and I couldn't compete. So, I had so many family and friends who are like, you should do your own podcast. So we're going to do that. So I'm going to start a podcast next month with a colleague of mine from nursing school, and we're going to talk about everything really healthcare related. What's going on in communities, mental health. We have a whole list of ideas: the elderly population, low socioeconomic backgrounds, dyslexia, fatherhood. A lot of these, things that really need to be focused on, that are kind of taking the back seat and not really being talked enough about. Really important issues, because I think I'm not the only one seeing what's going on around the United States. It's kind of like people need help and they're not getting it. And in terms of healthcare, it's more so what you do every day is what basically ultimately impacts how your life is going to become. And so, my plan is I am right now. I submitted to become my RN license to become Medicare, Medicaid certified. And so I'm looking to get into PACE programs all throughout. There's a PACE program in every state, and so they focus on low socioeconomic and elderly population. And so those are the people in my population that need it the most. And maybe this is a question maybe you do or you don't know the answer to, but I'm willing, I'm hoping to see what you guys think of. And maybe you do, Chris, maybe because you're government. Back in the 1920s, nurses had their own practices. And it wasn't until the 1930s nurses came back they went into the hospital to follow doctor's orders. And so I don't see really any independent nursing contracts or independent nursing people out in the community anymore. It's more so like home health care and there's so many nurses out there with the knowledge and expertise to be leading each community, right? And so that's where I'm needing help. Like I need to figure out how to get into that, because if I can get into that, it's endless,
Get into where?
A PACE program.
A PACE program. Why?
Yeah.
Why do you think you need to get into a PACE program?
Because these people, right, that are on, they're on food stamps, they're on, Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid. These are the people that are not getting enough help in terms of their health. They're not being really like a doctor, right? Let's say a patient goes see a doctor and they see him for, top 7 minutes. The doctor's not going to talk to you about your whole, your day, right? And what you
Unless
do.
you pay a lot of money, which I do.
Right. Right. And so what I do is I'm going to sit with someone for an hour and we're going to talk about any problem they have. I'm not saying I'm a therapist. I'm not a mental health therapist, but I'm going to coach you on whatever problem is going on in your life. And you're going to come up with the answer. I'm not going to tell you what to do. Every adult has, the ability to make a choice, but, holistically, what is best for Jeff is only what's best for Jeff. What's best for Irina is only going to work for Irina, right? Mm-hmm. And so people have the answers. They have the answers. They have to figure out which is the right one.
You got
and find that within themselves,
Sorry.
No, it's all good.
Fast sometimes when I'm hearing something. So when you're ready, I have a couple questions. I'm sorry. Forgive me.
No, you're good. That's it. That's basically it.
Okay.
I guess the first thing that comes to my mind is, is a vision of the Venn diagram of what coaching is and what coaching is not, and where being a subject matter expert, a mentor, a therapist, forget about the therapist. I'm hearing coaching and subject matter expert at the same time. And I'm thinking, how many people in low income and the demographic you're talking about really do understand what they need to do? And so is that a correct assumption, or is it more of an assumption that they need the knowledge that you have as a nurse versus as a coach? I'm going to stop talking because I'm not an expert here.
Well, here's my thing. I believe most people want the best for themselves, right? Mm-hmm. And so whatever that is, right? Are they getting the right transportation? Are they eating the right foods? Are they showering? Are they brushing their teeth twice a day? Stuff like that, right? But I'm talking about any problem, like in particular, that we could talk about, that any goal that they want to work on and create that new habit into their life. So it could be anything, Chris. It could be anything.
Yeah.
And so I'm not the one telling them what to do, but they want to change and they want to talk to me. I'm going to help them get there.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, having said all that, right? Because you've got an amazing vision. You've got an amazing vision.
Thank you.
That's
appreciate that.
Pretty powerful why. Like that's a solid why. Moreover, I want to let you know, and that has been my experience, where the more you become open in regards to what you have to go through, Jeff, that is the kind of, because now people are going to feel relatable to you. They're going to come, because Jeff is not some superior coach. Jeff has been,
No.
Jeff has known, he knows how it is. And I don't know
Yeah.
your story, and I'd love to find
Yeah.
out your story. But today,
Yeah.
let's keep it, well, first of all, I was writing it down here. And that's my question. I heard first, I have been coaching close people, relatives. I am volunteering. I am doing the podcast. I am in social media. Jeff, wow, you are in the world of coaching already. Now, what can I help you with? What is one thing, and that's as we go, you will know this, and Chris already knows that. I will always ask you, what is one thing that you are noticing that's missing right now in this journey that you are trying to create?
What would you do if you were in my shoes? What would you do?
Okay.
That's some big shoes to fill. I don't know if I could answer that question.
Well,
And by the way, I have deep respect for nurses. My wife almost died 2 years ago of a massive heart attack. She was in the ICU on a ventilator and ECMO for 3 weeks, in the hospital for 2 months. So you know what all that's like, right? I don't know if you're in,
God bless her. God bless her.
I don't know
Yep.
if you're in cardiac ICU, but she survived.
Yeah, yeah. I float to all the ICUs. So yeah, I don't do ECMO, but ECMO is serious, very serious. Yeah. Wow. God bless. That's amazing.
Thanks, man. But yeah, I mean, I have complete respect, and I mean, I'm in awe of what nurses do, because you guys work your asses off. But that's
Thanks,
why
Chris.
it would be hard to tell you what I think you should do. But that's probably a question more for Irina. So,
Jeff, thank you, Chris. Jeff, you have spoke to this already. I don't know what's best for you. You do. So what I'm going to try
Yeah.
to do right now is I'm going to try to ask you that same question.
Yeah.
Having spoken about this what you are trying to create, what do you
Yeah.
think? And what is it, Jeff? What are you noticing that you want right now? What do you want the end result to be?
The end result, to build back communities, to build it back.
Okay.
Yeah.
To build back.
Yeah. I think people really need to, kind of be more present, really understand where other people are coming from. We not really, people don't know what other people go through, and I'm really lucky. I feel like I'm the luckiest man on earth. My mom was told she couldn't have children. I was born. I came from parents that were never married, and they were separated, but I still had a great, childhood, and I have an amazing wife. I honestly have everything I need. I really, I don't really need to be doing any of this, but I really want to. I really want people to thrive. I want people to thrive. I want people to enjoy life.
That's awesome.
And Jeff, you spoke
Yeah.
already to exactly what you want to create. And
Yeah.
I will invite you to listen back to this recording, because
Yeah, I will.
what you just spoke to now, there's a lot of stuff that you want to create. And have you guys seen when you shake up the snow globe, what happens? You see a lot of sparkles, you see a lot of everything, there's actually messy, and you can't really clearly see, what are the figurines in that snow globe. But when you let it rest for a little bit, when you put it on the table and all of the stuff comes down, you actually are now seeing very clearly. And that is what happens with our mind when we have everything on the go. Okay, I want to do the podcast. Yeah, I'm also noticing that I would really like to do something with the PACE community, and really get people, help people through there. I'm also very active on social media. I also see that nurses used to have independent contracts and would go back, and serve the community. Jeff, you got it. You can be that nurse that can
Yeah.
begin this amazing service, because you are
Yeah.
absolutely right. And I know it firsthand. My ex-father-in-law just died.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name names, or I'm not gonna,
The hard for your loss.
yeah,
Yeah.
because what happened was that, and it's not because of shortage of nurses out there. It just so happened that a nurse didn't show up, but it was still his time to go. He went at 92 years old, and I think that's a great life to live. But nevertheless, Jeff, the opportunity in your hands, and what you can do is simply take the first step. What does that first step looks like? And let's prioritize things. Let's put them, what can I do given the fact that I'm working all the time? Right? You are still a nurse. The fact
Yeah.
that I am a husband, the fact that I've got this great vision, but we know that we can take one step at a time, that when we begin creating, it's one step at a time, it's one thing at a time, Jeff. So what is
Right.
accessible to you right now that you could begin doing and change this world one conversation at a time?
Oh, well, I already know, my wife and I both talked about it. We could easily become influencers. Easily,
One.
I think, a lot of what people don't understand is that most diseases and comorbidities comes from prevention, you know. I mean, that's nursing, that's what we do. We prevent death, you know. We're not the ones, writing scripts and doing surgeries.
Yeah.
We're the ones that are getting you move around and, moving and acting and washing your hands and
Yeah. So Jeffrey,
doing all of those things, you know.
exactly. So Jeffrey,
Keep my
what,
wife alive, right?
yeah, what is one way that you could bring that awareness, something that you can do today, and begin to create that awareness that I am Jeffrey, I am a nurse, and here's
Yeah.
something that I see. I'm also a life coach, and here's what I offer. I offer
Yeah.
an experience of coaching. Come in.
Well, I'm already on it. So, one of my friends from my hometown, um, he is a uh, he does content. He does marketing, and so he wants to do free promo for me.
Mhm.
So yeah, he wants to do a video with me. And so because that helps build him his own portfolio. And so when he does YouTube videos or TikTok, Instagram, I can, help him. They can see, well, this guy helped me. And so if it were, and I pretty know for sure it will pop off, that he could get a lot of business from that. So
Okay,
yeah, I have a call with him
that's
later
one.
today. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Um,
What else? So that's one. That is something that you can do through your friend. Beautiful. What is there something that Jeffrey, out of the things that you have listed already, that you could begin to test out in order to
Um,
bring awareness
yeah.
to who you are, that you are a coach, and you invite people to conversations to experience you as a coach. And maybe
Yeah.
right now at no fee or nominal fee. So you can be out there creating awareness about nurses, life coaches.
Mm. Yeah, I definitely think that this is really gonna be a new wave of what's gonna like the future of healthcare, that nurse coaches will be, you know, um, out in the community rather than being in hospitals. People, you do not want to go to the hospital. You really don't. Trust me.
100%. 100%. I
You know,
totally agree with
it's
you.
amazing that we have it, but you do not want to be there. You do not. It's the dirtiest place in the world. It's every disease is there. Um,
Yeah.
and and I respect the people that I work with and all that stuff, and all the doctors and nurses out there, respiratory therapists, all the staff. But it's anybody will tell you it's not where you want to be. Um, and that's more important than anything is health. And I think health is really not number one right now. It's not. The latest statistic right now, 69% of our population is obese. That is
I wonder what
frightening.
indicator we use for that.
Yeah, and that leads to 15 plus comorbidities. I mean, what is going on? You know, there needs to be really serious conversations on what is happening to our people.
Good. You're absolutely got it,
It's
Jeffrey.
terrible. And it shouldn't be normalized.
Yeah.
Really shouldn't be.
It really is
Yeah.
though. People are making it like, we can't fat shame, things like that. And of course we can't do that, but it also,
It's not about that, but it's about being accountable.
yeah,
There's no accountability anymore.
yeah.
And
There's
guys,
no accountability.
that's it. And this is why the world of coaching and the need of coaches is so crucial. And guys, for the sake of our Q&A today, I'm going to introduce you to a concept that I've seen with each and every coach that I have coached and brought to prosperity. Let's imagine that this is a 10-foot pole. This is a 10-foot pole between you and the outcome that you want to create out there in the world. Whether it is for you right now, volunteering and changing the world one conversation at a time. And even that, I'm always going to bring you guys from that generalizing to slowing you down, to bringing you to understand. One, we're going to come down from that generalized concept because our mind loves that. And we're going to focus on what is available right now. And Jeffrey, what you spoke to today, where can I begin? Where can I, with my work, begin to shift that understanding with one person at a time? We're going to eventually create that huge outcome. But for now, we're going to always bring one person to conversation. And let's get back to this pole right here, 10-foot pole, because this is me, and this is that 10-foot pole that stands in the way of me creating the outcome that I want. Whether this 10-foot pole means, oh, let me be on social media, let me, create a little more information, let me be in my head and, and just kind of talk about, but I'm inviting you to put this 10-foot pole down. And I'm inviting you in the world of reality and taking active steps. Because What can I do today with one person and that huge vision that I have? And I, Jeffrey, or I, Irina, or I, Chris, or Sibangili, what I can do, I can invite one person to a conversation. One person. Whether he or she is my neighbor next door, whether he or she is that client that I help through ICU, and I'm seeing that that person is suffering. Hey, this is who I am. I'm a life coach, and I invite people to conversation. I want to be of service to you. Come in. Let's spend an hour and a half, an hour. And if I could serve you to the best of your potential, and you could walk away creating awareness about who you want to be, how you want to change your diet, and all of that. This is where we guys begin. We put this 10-foot pole down from, just being out there, sort of doing or not doing. We're actually going to be not even courageous enough. We're going to test things out and invite that person to a convo, maybe on Facebook, and say, hey guys, because I have a vision, I'm inviting 4 people to 60-minute complimentary calls with me. Who's first? Do you want to do this? Because now you're in the world of coaching. You're actually coaching people and creating that difference. You are what you speak of. Moreover, I, Jeff, can create a podcast tomorrow or maybe a week from now. And how do I do that? I create a date. For example, this is the topic that I want to talk to. And here's the topic that I saw you just shared. Things that haven't been talked about. Things in ICU, things in our health that haven't been talked about. And just put it out there. Now I'm Jeffrey in the world of coaching, not only just talking, but doing actions and creating action steps that eventually lead to results. And then at the end of that podcast, hey, if anything that I have shared resonated with you, just one thing, here's my email. Send me a subject line, and we'll spend 45 minutes talking about the world you live in.
Yeah,
Jeff,
I love that.
how does that sound?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah.
What would you be
Yeah.
one step that you would be willing to do right after we get off the call, and in the next little while that you could create? You don't
Yeah.
have to
I'm gonna
create.
ask my barber. I'm gonna ask my barber if he wants to be coached. I'm
Bang,
just gonna ask him
bang.
that. Get my card. Be like, I'm gonna coach you for free if you want. If you want to do
Also,
it.
yeah. Also, guys,
I
here's the thing that I learned, and I'm sorry, Chris, I saw your hand go up, and
no.
I'll get to
You know
you.
what? You're the expert, so I'm not gonna.
Jeffrey, I would be cautious of the word free because, Jeffrey, it isn't free. It's your time.
You're right.
I would coach you at no fee. I would coach you at no fee. It's complimentary. It's my gift to you because I see that if you and I can get 30 minutes or 60 minutes and talk about something that you are struggling currently in your life right now, you may walk away with answers to a question that you have currently. Do you want to do that?
Yes.
That's an invitation. Guys, this is an
Yeah.
invitation. Jeffrey, what's lended?
What's lended?
Yeah, what resonated in the things that I was sharing? Have I had
I
your
think I think you are very you you definitely have brought out what I'm looking for and what the next steps I need to do. So thank you for that. Thank you. I
Just
need to be, yeah,
mhm. Yeah, go on.
go
I
ahead.
need to be.
Yeah, I think you understand what it's like to be a new coach and how to really get the ball rolling, because you're right, every one person leads to another interaction. It does, and it's a cascading effect, it's a domino effect. And so that's what you can do one thing a day, and
Yeah,
it'll come.
yeah. Because
Yeah,
Jeff, you got it. Your vision, and
thank you.
I just shared a Facebook group where I'm going to post
All
this
right,
video so you could watch it again
cool.
because you have a great
Yeah,
vision. You already have steps in there. So,
thank you.
and what we're
Yeah,
going to do, we're going to take it one step at a time. One step. Hey, can I ask my barber? B, when do I want to create that podcast? C, I want to
yeah,
look around in my ICU on shifts that I'm working as a nurse. And I'm going to see who I can invite into a conversation with me. And that's how you get the ball rolling. And that is, guys, the first the first of create, invite, coach, propose. Jeffrey, you are in the world of creating. Let's create those
yeah,
clients to talk with. And then I'm going to teach you guys how to create invitations because that's a very crucial part. Because we're not coaching, you're not coaching with me. We're going on a journey together.
yep,
It's nothing about me and I'm superior and I'm amazing and I want to be of service to you. No, we're going to go on this journey together. I'm going to be learning with you and I'm going to be asking you questions. Chris, what question did you have? You raised a hand.
I think that I don't really have one. I would the thing that this reminds me of, Jeffrey, is that I just need to do this more. But besides that, I think that one of the keys to doing this right is knowing how to create the conversation and do the invite to a conversation. The initial conversation and doing the invite to what is a 30 to 45 minute or an hour coaching conversation / session that's at no fee. That is the part that I continue to struggle with, and I don't want to get into my stuff right now because I know I need to listen more, and I'm glad to listen. But yeah, talking to your barber, the only thing I can think of is like, hey, and how do you make that invite to that no fee session, that first no fee session? I think that's key. And I've done some invites too. Some have worked, some have not. My invite that I made to my friends led me to my coaching client, who's their 17-year-old son, who Irene is probably like, how many sessions have you had and not charged them? I think we've had 7 sessions so far. And so that in that sense, it worked for me, that one conversation. Now, of course, I'm coaching 5 people in the government at any given time. I've coached over 20 people now. And I have 70 hours of coaching under my belt within the government, which is really great practice. I don't have to go looking for them. They come to me, they feed people, clients to me, the government does. So
Yeah.
at least I'm getting that experience.
And that is amazing,
Yeah.
Chris, because you're getting that experience as a coach. You see, the one thing that you mentioned, and Sibangili, I see your question. I'm going to get to it. The one thing that you mentioned, Chris, if I'm going to do it right, guys, there's
No right to do it.
there's no right.
When did I say do it right? Oh, you mean in terms of the invitation? And yeah. Well, I think for me, I do want to feel. Well, Irene, you already know this. So Jeffrey, and who else is on the line, by the way?
Sibangili. Yeah, and
I really wish I could pronounce that correctly.
Yeah, and I hope I'm not butchering it, but Sivan
But anyhow,
and I spoke a few times.
but anyhow, so just to let you guys know that Irene knows my family situation. Jeffrey, I mentioned earlier, my wife's had some really rough health emergencies, cancer in 2015, the heart attack in 2021. And I have two sons in college who are very needy and full-time job, and just I'm stretched thin all the time.
Got a lot on your plate.
Pardon me?
You got a lot on your plate.
Oh my gosh, it's not even funny. So and a tough thing for, and you could understand this as a nurse, and I have no problem with some transparency in my life. Because of those things, I've been seeing a trauma therapist for about a year and a half now, which I realized that after going through them, how much trauma really affects caregivers and it affects the family, you know? So it's interesting because like I feel like all my time and energy is taken up by all those things right now. For me to find time and energy brushing your teeth. I am it's okay. You can do anything you want with me. I'm just gonna make me laugh a little bit. So my point was is that for me to even think that I have extra time to create the conversation, to do the invites is very difficult for me because when I have any time, free time on my own, Irina knows this, the gym is my happy place, right? I mean, I'm 78 years old and I look this good because of the gym. No, I'm not 78. But so it's tough for me when I have my alone time and free time to want to get outside of myself as much as an extrovert that I am. I mean, I'm in conversations all the time in the gym with friends, right? But I like it to be casual and fun. And for me to kind of think, okay, what do I gotta, like, where's the opportunity? Who do I talk to next? Is extra energy for me. And I think I'm telling you something, nothing that you don't know already, Arena. So
But you
that's
see,
where my challenge comes in.
yeah,
So
where is it? Can you form it in a question? What kind of,
where is
yeah, what kind of help would you like to get around this that you've shared? Like, what would be in the form of a question that you'd ask me right now? What is the request?
how do I know when to make an invite and how do I make that invite?
Yes, you got it, Chris. Because one thing that you noticed that you are in a world of conversations. You are, and the reality is, Chris, that gym is that place where you can hear what people are struggling with and invite them into conversations. Now, I remember when I learned that for myself, when my lines got blurred out between the friends that I was friendly with and now conversations, coaching conversations that I could create through these friendships that I already had. And Chris, having really clear, for example, you met somebody at the gym, and through this lively conversation that you're having with them, you're hearing that he or she struggling with job, I don't know, they've been let go, struggling with losing weight, struggling with something that they are at the moment sharing with you. You see, guys, what we're going to do, we're going to open up the ear to what are the people around us talking about, whether it's my wife's cousin, whether it's my ICU patients that I am servicing, whether it's those patients, you know, relatives that are with me currently in the room, whether those are the people that I am at the gym with. And when I heard that, when I heard the request or a complaint of some sort, I could now say, Hey, thank you for being open and sharing. And here's what I can do for you. You and I, and be dead, like, I want to say dead serious, but be really clear about what you're inviting them for. We could either continue, our chats here and there, or what I'm inviting you to do is a conversation that possibly change your life at no fee. This is my gift to you. And here's my card. Whenever you are ready to have that talk about, and now here's the part, guys, be specific about what they have shared with you, not generalized concept. Oh, yeah, I could change your life. Nobody's going to fall for that. Whatever that person shared at that moment with you, whether their son is failing at the college, whether it is how hard they are having it right now with this person who is sick and they cannot find resources to keep this person healthy and looked after. This is what you say. So you and I can have these 60 minutes to talk about exactly what they have shared with you. What is it around your son's dropping out of college that's making you fear? Let's create clarity around that. So you now know, after our conversation together, what are the steps that you can take to clear this situation that is troubling you so much. You see, that is what people are going for. Not I can help you. First of all, we can never say that because we don't know whether we can help a person or not. We really don't know. But what I can do, I can assist you in clearing out that situation that you're currently going through. Let's slow down and unpack this one conversation at a time. And what you can also say, guys, that typically I have one or two conversations with people so I can see whether I'd be able to help them or not, and whether they are ready to go on the journey and figure that out for themselves. And just like you, Jeffrey, said, because you know the answers, nobody else does. You do. And I will assist you in getting those answers out so you could follow that. How does that answer your question, Chris?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that the real success is going to come by just practicing those invitations more. And I'll say that, I mean, but I have to kind of get this block out of my mind that I don't have time or energy for that.
Yeah.
That's a limiting belief.
Yeah.
And I just need to kind of let it flow. I actually had a conversation with a woman in the gym. And so my church is also an area that I can, I have conversations all the time. But there's one guy, I've known these people for years, right? It's like a gym family, right? And there's one gal that I was talking to who's another federal employee. So I have to be careful because I'm supposed to coach federal employees for free inside the government. And she's just a young gal, 40 years old, beautiful young lady, single, and she's struggling with her stuff in her job, constantly telling me about how frustrated she is. And so I mentioned to her a few weeks ago, hey, I am a coach. I would love to have a conversation with you outside of here. But and she kind of nodded, and that's kind of where it left off. So what I think I need to practice is the invite a little bit more.
You got that. Clarity, guys. Clarity, because what they're looking for us as coaches is a leadership. Hey, I'm inviting you to a 60-minute, 90-minute. At the beginning, guys, I was giving out 2 hours at no fee. Now, for me, realized that 2 hours, a little bit too much. Because yeah, person is kind of looking at the clock. It's like, oh my God, 2 hours. What are we going to talk about? And not everybody has 2 hours nowadays. So what I've
It goes
begun,
by fast with you. It goes
yeah,
by fast with you. You and I
100%.
had a 2 hour conversation first time.
Yeah. And what I began to do, I began to invite people to 45-minute conversations or 90-minute conversations. And what I would have, the 90-minute conversation, I would usually have as my second. The first conversation I invite to 45 minutes so I could feel the person. Do they really want to be there or not? And another thing, Chris, as a leader, you could give them 2 times. Hey, 2 times, Chris, that work for you, because you do have a busy, busy day where you are stretched thin, where you have to look after your wife, after your 2 children, go to the gym, be, be going to church. Now, take a look at your schedule and pick 2 times
Mhm.
and give those 2 times to this woman and say, here are the times that we can meet. What works for you? Well, Chris, Monday at 12 p.m. works for me. Great. Let's put that in our calendar and let's meet. And also, prior to our conversation, will you please send me one question that is on your mind currently? One. What do you want to talk about? What is something that's keeping you up at night? Let's go.
Mhm.
And now she's in your world. Now you understanding whether Monday 12 p.m. doesn't work for her. Yes. What will you suggest? What would work for you? And now you're having a conversation about when the two of you are going to meet and have a clear coaching experience, not just a chit chat, guys, because we never chit chat. We are inviting people to experience our coaching. And we never coach anybody without them understanding that they're being coached, without that invitation. Okay. Chris, was that helpful?
Yeah, very
Amazing.
helpful. Thank you.
Guys, I'm noticing the time. We've got 6 minutes left, and I want to get to Sibangili's question. How do you handle a client who says they are not happy with your coaching, they feel they did not get value for their money, and want to cancel the session? Okay. How do I deal with those clients? I return the money. And I wish, Sibangili, I would have had little more story in regards to that. Are you able to talk? Are you able to share a little bit of a context in what happened with this client?
Mm, Yes, sorry. Hello, everyone.
Nice to meet you.
The client was not my client, but it's my sister-in-law who was coached by somebody else, and she felt that the person was not really helping her or assisting her to achieve her goals. And she felt that she did not get a value for their money. So I'm asking the question because it might be something that someone might experience. And hence I'm asking in general to say, how do you then deal with that type of a client
Amazing.
if it does happen?
Yes, it had happened to me, and it will happen to all of you guys. And the best thing that you could do is invite that person to another conversation at no fee. Gift. This is my gift to you, so I can hear your feedback, so I can understand what exactly hasn't worked. I want to understand what your expectations were and what I have missed out. Because, guys, one thing that we will understand as coaches going forward, that our client being unhappy, that is the most amazing invitation for us to slow down, because we may miss something out. And now we're inviting them to that redo session, or a session where, yeah, let's get clear. What were our goals? Where we didn't meet them? What, in your view, did not work? And where would you like to be more supported? It has happened to me a few times, and those were the clients that then turned and worked with me for years. You see, and there were some clients that after a first or second conversation said, I'd like to get my money back. Absolutely. I'm not going to be forcing you to work with me. We signed the contract, for example, for a year. I'm going to get paid for 6 months that we work together, and the other 6 months I will happily refund you. That is the agreement that I always go for. For example, just recently, I had this amazing program where five coaches signed up. And one coach, after he was doing great, and after the first day that program was out, he emailed me and he said, Irina, I feel that this is not my place. I don't want to be learning that. I feel like I'm not getting enough value. I got it. I thanked him for it. And I said, let's talk about it. Let's put a call one-on-one, 60 minutes, so I can learn from you, so I can hear your feedback. I go, would you like to be coached in the meantime? No, I wouldn't. I just want to let you know what I've experienced, and that's it. Amazing. Let's go. We had that 1 hour together. He told me what worked. He told me what didn't. Now, I took the information. I didn't take everything. I took his information in. I then spoke to my coach. I shared that too. I refunded this fellow the money, because we were originally going to do it for 4 weeks. I refunded 3, because 1 week he was there. He was grateful that I didn't ask. I invited him. I go, I'm going to give you the money back because you've been for 1 week, and the other 3, you're not going to be here. I don't need your money. Now, that beautiful man working with me one-on-one. Guys, you always have an opportunity to recreate, because this way you're getting to know the person a lot better. Because as you go, guys, I'm noticing it's 2 p.m. Does any one of you have 2 more minutes to end this call?
Irina, I gotta get going, but I will be on the next call for sure. And I just joined your Facebook group, so
Jeffrey, exactly. I'm going to
yeah.
these Q&As once a month. So guys, watch out for those events.
Yeah.
Once a
Nice
month.
meeting you, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, you too, Chris. I look forward to seeing you guys again. It was a great conversation. I'm gonna definitely follow up on what we talked about
Yeah.
today.
Great.
Amazing.
So
Have a great day.
yeah. All right, you guys too. Enjoy.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
So,
Happy holidays.
yeah,
You too.
you too. So guys, so this way we will invite that clarity in, because as you guys, as you go, you will notice that a lot of your clients will want you to like them. What do I mean by that? They will want to be, the goody two-shoe, the good girl, the good boy. They will want you to like them. And sometimes that means that they're not going to bring the truth, the honesty. But as they go along, they will learn that they can trust you fully and utterly. But in these, beginning stages of them getting to know you, the moment they say something isn't working, bang, free invitation to work with me, let's go. And sometimes I put 60 minutes, sometimes I put 90 minutes because I want to know what's not working. That is the most
Yeah.
amazing sign. Yeah, what are you hearing, Chris, through this?
I think I'm hearing your awareness of, where they're at, and also your separation from the desire to just make money for your own benefit. The primary purpose of your coaching is as a business, but you also know that it can't be at the front all the time, and the person has to be, right, and whether you're serving them.
That is just a part of learning. And I'm noticing the question from Sibangili. If I understand you, you charged for the sessions that took place and refunded the session that have not taken place. Exactly. Sibangili, every time, whether it's a program or whether it's one-on-one work, I get the money ahead of time. And that is something that, guys, if you want to talk about, yes. Skating over the the agreement or how you will pay me is something that I have done in the past, and it didn't work out well for me. So now when I invite people to programs that I run for different prices, and I've got many programs that are on the go at all times, for coaches and non-coaches, I always make sure that this part about money, I don't skip through. I don't skate over. I slow them down and I make sure that when the payment is getting done, when am I going to receive it, and what is their agreement around it? Now, in this particular case, this individual signed up for 4-week program. He paid me for 4 weeks. And when he only participated in one, I refunded the 3. And that was it. I don't want to feel like I owe somebody. Would it be nice to have him as a client in that group? 100%. But do you guys know the reason he became my client? He actually shared with me of how fast I refunded him the money. He realized that it wasn't about the money. It was about the service that I didn't provide to him. And
That
that
means a lot for people.
I'm sorry.
No, I can see how that can be a big deal for people, because so many
Ah.
people just want people just want money, right? It's like,
Yeah, guys, and that is one thing that we're never going to do. We're never going to defend ourselves, defend our story.
yeah,
We're
or
going,
make excuses, yeah,
that's it.
whatever, yeah.
We're going to hear people out. And it didn't come right away for me. It was learning that had to be acquired, because each time I'd be, in this, well, victim villain, well, it's he who didn't get, look at these 4 they got, he didn't get. No, each and every individual is unique in their own way. And
Yeah.
I realized that beautiful man needed not to be in the group. He needed to be in one-on-one. He had a lot of stuff to work through. And now this beautiful guy is my client, and we're doing it one-on-one. And it wasn't about money for him. And where my assumptions immediately went to, oh yeah, he's probably, want to, because I'm a human, just like all of you guys. And what is that saying about assumption?
It makes an ass of you and me.
That's it. That's it. Yeah, because guys, we are never going to be in this place of judging. We're going to learn to create compassion, and we're going to learn that defending who I am is never going to serve us. What we are going to do, we're going to turn our ears to the problems. Where was I not able to create value and created confusion with this client? Let's go. Let's talk about that. Guys, it was lovely to see you here. Sibangili, have I answered this question for you?
Yes, you did. Thank you very much.
Guys, what I'm also going to invite,
I think
go on.
yes, you're quite right. People shouldn't see it as you're chasing money, so they should get satisfaction, and then they will become the lifetime clients.
Yeah. And Sibangili, it's not even about the should, because we don't know what they should or shouldn't get. What it is about our service. I want to be very clear about what I am offering out there. What, if that person didn't get clarity, if that person still is confused about what are we doing out here, what is coaching, then it is on me to clarify that. Because guys, one of the things that you will all learn, that if the person isn't signing in with us to work with us, they either confused about what they're going to get out of working with us, B, they're just not ready. And that's it. It's never about us as a coach. And as we go, we're going to continue to learn how to coach, because coaching is a great tool, but when it's used as a surface, when we're scratching the surface, and when people walking away confused, it creates a really bad word for coaches out there. It really does. Have any of you seen the latest Netflix series about something about twin flames? Guys, when I saw that Netflix series, I was terrified about the message that is out there in regards to coaches, because coaching is never about the lifestyle. Coaching is about the transformation, and that transformation begins with us.
One thing that I wanted to bring up, we can talk about another time, is your input about Corey, who's a 17-year-old client of mine. We don't have time right now, but it's interesting how he keeps coming back and wanting. I ask him, "Do you want to continue coaching?" Yes, and we talk. We have good conversations. But after 7 sessions, I'm still coaching without a fee. And his parents, I love them to death, but they and it's interesting, during this whole time, they gave us this $400 piece of this vanity for our bathroom because it didn't work for them. They knew we needed it. So I don't know if they think of that as payment. I think that they're enjoying the fact that Corey's being coached by me for free.
And
it's interesting.
There's an assumption right there, because we don't know. Do they enjoy? Do they not enjoy? Now, it is so beautiful, Chris, that you are aware. Okay, I have been coaching this beautiful boy for 7 weeks now.
7 times
now,
over the past 5
sorry,
months,
7
4 months.
times. Yes. Now, what do I, Chris, want to create? And Chris, yes, I am noticing that we're getting over time, but will you reflect to these questions? If I am fully aware that I have coached this beautiful boy 7 times, and I can see that he wants to continue with me, now what am I willing to create around here? And I could invite that beautiful boy to coach with me for $25 an hour. I could create some kind of agreement with his parents. I could also find out, does that boy work? What can he afford?
Yes.
What can he afford? Hey, I love what you and I are doing here. And let me propose something to you. We can work for another 6 months. And here's the fee that I would coach you at. I don't know, $500 for 6 months. Or, and when he gets hesitant, and that's the proposal part, guys, and that is something that we will talk about. And if he gets hesitant, because guys, what we want our clients to see, that it's not the cost, it's the investment in continuing to working with us. And when they see it, they would be the ones asking you for it. And at the beginning, I used to charge very nominal fee. My coaching sessions were $25 an hour. And I coached at $25 an hour until my calendar was so full that I brought my fee to $50 an hour. I lost some clients. I did, but the half that stayed, I did not lose the money. You see? I did not lose the money. I lost the hecticness, and as we go, we are able to increase our fee the moment we see that my calendar is so filled that I'm stretched out thin. Now, what can I do? I can raise my fee a little bit. Yeah, some people may walk away. Some people will stay. And as we go, we will take it step at a time. And Chris, I invite you to sit with these questions. What is at stake? Why haven't I made a proposal to this beautiful man, Corey, boy, who loves coaching with me? What am I afraid of? Will you share that in the email with me?
Sure.
All right. Guys, I love
But I
you.
like your idea. I think $25 is a safe place to start. And if you multiply that times 10 sessions, there's your 250.
There you go. I coached yesterday when I got my nails done. I coached a beautiful
They're pretty.
nail technician. And guys, if you have a minute, I'll share the story. I coached a beautiful technician. I was aware of the conversation that was happening while I was getting my nails done. And this amazing old man came in to do pedicure. And this technician was doing his pedicure, and I'm, just because I have an ear for problems now, for things that I could help with, I begin to hear this, that he says to her that I need somebody. And at the beginning, it's like, you know, in this joking form, he goes, I need somebody to cook for me because my wife have died. And I've been married to her for 27 years. I've lost my wife. I'm lonely, and I noticed that I'm not eating well. And jokingly, they began talking about it. And I'm sitting there listening. And she goes, well, I can come and I can cook for you, you know, twice a week. And he's like, well, yeah, come and cook for me. You know, and they're going back and forth. Well, you tell me the price. No, you tell me the price. Yeah. And it's, you know, that's what chaotic conversation begins when there's no leader. So the man
No
walks,
proposal.
away, and I approach her. I go, whatever you invited him to. I go, are you willing to do it? She's like, yeah, totally. I could come and I could cook for him 3 times a week. I go, what's stopping you? She goes, well, I don't know how much he's gonna offer me. I go, so you're waiting for an answer from him? And I see that stops her. I go, how much would you be willing to do this for? And Chris, that's a question to Corey. Hey, Corey, would you love to continue? How much would you be willing to do this for? And if he says $10, take him in. If he has 15, now you're coaching and you're getting paid. You're practicing and you're being paid. Now Corey goes out to high school or college and says, I'm working with an amazing coach and he's charging me $10, $15 an hour. Now Chris is learning to coach. He's practicing to coach and he's actually being paid at 10, 15.
So you're saying to ask him what he's would be willing to pay or propose, or you
Yeah.
propose, I propose something.
What I would do I would ask him because he's my first client. And I would ask him, hey, do you like what we're doing out here? Yes, I do. In order for us to continue, I would need to get paid. How
Yeah.
much are you willing to pay for our coaching sessions? And because I have coached that boy 7 times, I already see that it is better for him to be coached twice a month or 4 times a month or 3 times a month and give him 2 weeks off, because I have had an experience of Corey and I can tell him, this is what I see working for you. Well, I don't know, Chris, what do you suggest? I suggest $50 a month. I suggest twice a month. Okay, that's doable. Or, okay, that's not doable. What do you propose, Corey? I propose $40. That's all I'm making. Amazing. Let's go. And that's your first client. You know what? Because you're my first client, I'm willing to do this. Because we have made shifts, I want to continue working with you. I enjoy working with you. Let's go. And bring one thing that we can figure out for you. One thing that you would like to get better in your life. One. And that's it.
It's interesting. And
that
I'll let
makes
you know, but
sense.
what's interesting is that he and I talked about how much my rates normally are. And I told him, a lot of people, my time is probably worth $300 an hour, I said. And he's like, well, I guess I'm lucky. And I said, you are.
Yeah.
And I said, I'm lucky to be with you too.
Yeah.
So
guys,
anyhow, that's great. I think it's a good idea for our next coaching session that I bring that up. Because he is working, and he tells me I've saved $2,000 XYZ, and I spend it on junk food instead. One of the biggest things we talk about is how he spends his money. So we're working through that.
there
So I'm like, well,
you go.
you've
Yeah.
got $50 a month.
Yeah. Because guys, this price is not about who you are. It's not. You will eventually get to charge bigger prices with time. It's
Yep.
not about the level of your coaching or, oh, I'm charging little. No, it's about you working. It's about you being paid to learn how to coach, because then you could go in and invest that money into your own learning. That is how I began. I began charging nominal fees, and that money I put towards my learning. You see, towards my programs, towards my coaching with somebody. Sibongili.
I have to go in a minute.
Um,
You're noticing that my screen still jiggles every time. Every time I hit my desk. I haven't come to a solution yet for that.
No,
I'm sure.
I just wanted to say, yeah, I think I agree with you. It makes sense. For your first paying client, I think, yeah, you can charge whatever that they can afford, because that offers you an opportunity to improve on your coaching, and which is something that I've been battling with, to say, how much should I charge my first client, because for me, it will be like a practice session at the same time,
That's
and yeah, weigh myself eventually to say, how did I do? So to charge a crazy fee, it doesn't make sense. And I'm left with 2 minutes also for
Sibongili.
the session.
Yeah, I want to also tell you that the story about how much they can afford is not my story, is not your story. I don't know how much they can or cannot afford. What I can do is get very clear about what I would like to propose to them. And then if they say, well, that's too much for me, I could then say, okay, what amount works for you? For example, if I have invited a person to work with me for $2,000 for 3 months, and that person goes, well, no, that's a lot. I want to slow down and say, okay, what do you propose? What can you afford at the moment? Because they know their budget, I don't. And they say, well, I can only afford $1,000. Amazing. At that point, I can say, okay, what I can do, I can create a smaller package where if I was offering for 2 months to work, for example, 8 times, I say, okay, for $1,000, let's work 4 times. Now, I'm not discounting my rates. Have you noticed what I've done here? I made a smaller
Yes.
package. Let's do it. Let's work for 1,000. If that's what you can afford, what I can do for you, I can invite you to work with me for a month. And here's a bonus. Whatever it is. I usually throw in a bonus because I can, because I want to. Because now I want to work with that client. Not because they pay me, because I really see that this client can make shifts because I'm excited to work with them, you see.
Okay.
I love
All
your
right.
questions.
So much, Irina. I think I need to go also now.
All right. Bye, Sibangili, and thank you for getting in on the call.
Okay, thank you so much. Will you post the recording for the session, the first session
100%.
that I missed?
100%.
Okay, cool.
Bye.
All right. Thank you. Bye.